I have a problem. You see, I need voice lines for my character, Jim, the evil AI. And so I made a quick and dirty voice line system. But then, reality struck. How am I going to scale this to 100 voice lines? Shh, you know more. Because I used hoppers. Let me explain. The old system had a scoreboard timer that when reaching a certain value, play a voice line. It was good and dandy at first, until the player attained an item, the swapper. Jim would compliment the player, but I can't just put it in the sequence because what if the player didn't touch it yet? What if they did it too soon? What if they did it too late? So I needed a solution. The problem was that it wasn't dynamically stackable. Before, it was statically stackable. These voice lines will always happen in this way at this time. But what if it didn't? I quickly came up with using a storage block to store paper that represented voice lines, and then the map would read it and do the correct voice line, then deleting it for the next voice line. I used a barrel at first, but the problem was the other voice lines couldn't automatically move to the first slot, which is where it's looking at. Looking at the other slots would be a little bit too... it's just too much, so I used hoppers. But hoppers have 5 slots instead of 1. Well, now it doesn't. And I can place hoppers connecting to it, and then summoning papers at the end hopper, the last hopper, and letting it throw through. What? Throw through. But there's one thing I'm leaving out. These blocks. If I didn't have these blocks, then the map would know that the voice line has been activated, and it doesn't need to activate it again. Anyways, but my implementation of this is that the map would detect if this certain block is air, if it is, and the voice line in the main hopper slot is the correct one, then it would play the voice line and make the block black wool to indicate that it's been said. But wait, that's only when the paper is in the hopper. What about when it's traveling through it? That takes time as well. So I have another black hole under it, which is pretty much the same thing as the top one, except for the paper summoning. Otherwise, it would summon repeatedly, which clogs up the hoppers and just makes the map laggy. Well, except when it doesn't. One solution is to make the top block black wool, and when it gets summoned, not check it in the main hopper, but that would make it a little bit too tedious. A better solution is to only have the chance to call it once. If the first solution I said was a band-aid, this is like, I don't know, magic. And just forget it. You see, there's one thing I left out as well. Voice line underscore duration. It goes down by 1 every tick, and when a voice line gets called, it sets it to the voice line's duration. When it reaches 0, the voice line that's in the hopper gets called. And that's how we don't have a million of the same voice line happening at once. I only call it once when the voice line duration is 15 though, to summon it, because hoppers are delayed, like, very noticeably, honestly. And the quick and dirty voice line system at the start, in more detail, was that the voice line duration goes up every tick, and when it hits a certain tick, it would play the voice line. I think you can see why that was bad. If another voice line triggered that's not in the sequence, the voice lines in the sequence that haven't been played would just not exist anymore and can't be played anymore. So, and that's why I made the newer one. The better one. I'm sure there's a lot better system to do this, but this is what I came up with. You know, I feel like I've unlocked a new ability, but it's knowledge. I know I can do this now. And shout out to Cloudwolf for some of the commands that I didn't know was possible, and macros as well, because they were just quintessential, like extremely helpful for the puzzle elements in the map. So that's it. Let me know if you like these more technical videos. They're actually quite fun to do. And I'll see you guys next time.